What's up guys, I'm going to be telling you in this video why you should switch to Android from iOS, so let's get started. So if you don't know already, I have an Android phone that runs TouchWiz. I've never once had an iPhone. I do have an iPod Touch. That's the closest thing I've gotten to an iOS device, and my mom has an iPad. I've used that a couple of times. It's running iOS 7.1, sorry. And of course, looking at videos of the latest iPhone and the latest iOS, I have come to be familiar with it. Now, my number one reason for switching to Android is personalization, and that is everyone's favorite. Personalization, you can make virtually every device different. You can have different styles. I mean, if you want to take a look at mine, I have different, I like to have it on different pages. I like every app, and it looks like an iPhone. I just like to have everything where it is and everything balanced. Like, look at how two are in the middle. I can't have one offset, but I have a flashlight widget. Sorry if that hurt your eyes, but that, and then I have on the top a Swagbucks widget. That's about all the widgets I have. I mean, on this one it shows me my active apps. Sorry if you can't see that, my active apps. On the bottom I have a couple of different, and not that you cannot customize the way that the apps look on an iPhone, but just, there's widgets and whatnot. Unless Apple chooses to change iOS in an iOS update, it will never be as personalized as Android will unless you jailbreak it. And obviously, here's a kind of more of a list that I have. Different keyboards, widgets, the speed in which an app opens and closes, like the animation. All this is without rooting it. I never rooted an Android device before that of mine. I don't really want to. I just don't like rooting it. And to get this on an iPhone, you'd have to jailbreak it. Now, the second is the variety of Android on different platforms. Now, this is kind of a loose term, so let me try to explain this for you. There's many different Android devices. There's tablets, there's phones, and there's a lot of phones. Different tablets, a few different tablets. And, all have different systems and different ways to run Android, and so all of them have their different approach on it. There's the way that HTC does it. There's the way that Samsung does it. I don't really know all the different ones, but there is different ways, and there's obviously stock Android, which I like too. So whatever you like, you can get, basically. Third is NFC, and this is something that I've used a lot. I have a video on it, how NFC tags could improve the way that you do, or how they're useful, I think the name was. It's a couple videos back. But I have an NFC tag there, here, downstairs, on my keys for my house. I do use NFC tags, like next to my dresser. It sets an alarm, puts my phone to low, so only 2% of my battery life is drained during the night, and I can have it wake me up in the morning. Here, when I get back from school, I tap that, and it turns my Wi-Fi on, my ringers up, and the media volume up. Downstairs, also when I go out, it just turns Wi-Fi off, and everything that I need to conserve battery. So it's battery conserver, it's time saving. All NFC you cannot get with an iPhone as of right now, unless you kind of genetically mutate it. You cannot get if you change the battery, you'd have to do a lot of stuff to get NFC. But moral is, most Android devices come with NFC these days. Like, I don't know one that doesn't. I'm sure there is a lot of them that don't, but the newer devices do. At my mall, there's an NFC tag on the screen that shows you ads. There's an NFC tag there, so you can tap it and you can see their local listing or whatever their sponsor is, and it's a really cool thing. And I definitely think that iPhone should have it, but they don't. So that's one thing that Android has that iOS does not. And also, not NFC tags in specific, but S-beaming. You can take two. I should say Android beaming. And this is basically chip 2 and You tap two Android NFC enabled devices together, and you can share like pictures, videos, stuff like that to one another without uploading it somewhere or doing something without something else. NFC, if you don't know what it is, it's near field communication. Basically, that's what it is. The fourth reason is Google integration. Now, you can get a lot of Google integration with iOS, but since Android is a Google-owned company, they want to implement their own stuff onto Android. And everything you do, basically, you can upload it to like Google Plus, Hangouts. Everything is Google now. Google Now, which I will do a video on later. It should be in like 2 weeks. Most of Google's applications are preloaded, like YouTube. What else is there? Chrome, Hangouts, Google Plus, Google Now, and all of these make your life easier and more organized. Like Google Calendar, which I just started using recently. And like I said before, all phones have their different take on it, like the size, screen, everything, and can compete with the iPhone, like thinness. Some are more durable, water resistant, and more elegant looking. Now I also have a guest on here that wants to talk to you about why you should switch to Android via Skype. I have this on my website a long time ago, and he actually took advantage of it and is going to be in one of my videos. So here he is. So do you use Android right now?
Yeah.
All right.
I got a Nexus 5.
Okay. And what do you like about it?
Well, there's a lot of things about it. Battery life is one thing, and it's just a really nice phone. The design. Main thing is there's just so much customization, so much.
Yeah, that's one of the things I mentioned on my script, is that there's a lot of customization that you can't get with an iPhone.
On Android, you can have your widgets.
Right.
You can have your app placement wherever you want it. Got a better notification bar.
With TouchWiz, I still think Android's good. Have everything the way you want it. Everyone's phone can be different, or tablet. With the iPhone, you can customize up to a certain point without jailbreaking.
Yeah, without jailbreaking the and Android, like all Android devices have way better, larger, full HD screens.
Right. There's a lot of, like I said in my video, there's a lot of diversity of different Android, like the way it is.
Yeah.
Like you have a Nexus that's different than Galaxy S4, and different than
Yeah. And Android, you get way better customization for your lock screen unlock options. Like doing the old
you have
like
yeah.
yeah. It's way better than Apple, Windows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm not comparing Android to iOS. I'm just saying that um, that's what I'm most familiar with is iOS.
Yeah.
I've never had a lot
The
of
number one competing.
right. So but like you said with the lock screen, you can pull it up. There's face recognition, I know, which is pretty good, and
Yeah.
it requires you to blink so that nobody hacks in with your picture.
Yeah. I have a Samsung Galaxy Tab 3 7-inch set on the same Android tablet.
Yeah, that's what I like, because if I'm playing a game, I can, if I purchase like an in-game, like the full version of the game, that'll also happen on my tablet. And I'm not saying that iPhone doesn't. I actually don't know if iPhone does that, or
Yeah.
with your iPad, but I'm just saying that that's part of the integration with it. But I actually have a list of uh, screen lock. So there's obviously swipe, face unlock, face and voice, pattern, pin, and password. And I'm sure iPhone has something along those lines. And they also have the Touch ID, which the Galaxy S5 is also having. But yeah.
Yeah. Other than the Touch ID, all you get to do is put in a simple passcode or some words and numbers.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure on that. I have an iPod, but it's not comparable. I have some experience with it, but
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so that was my conversation with him. You know, pretty cool that I got to have a guest on a video. So yeah, if you want to do that, link will be down in the description. Alrighty guys, that's my video for today. If you liked it, click the thumbs up button. If you didn't, click the dislike button. And in the comments below, if you didn't like the video, tell me why and how I can make my videos better, because that's what I shoot for. Alright, I'll see you later. Bye. I'll be giving you a review on the Samsung UN40 5300. It's a Samsung Smart TV 40-inch. So yeah, let's get started.